The Crow was more than just a movie, it was a cultural phenomenon, a dark, gritty masterpiece that left an incredible mark on the hearts of millions. Now, decades later, the iconic story of Eric Draven, the undead anti hero, seeking vengeance for his brutal murder and that of his fiancee, is back on the big screen. And this modern reimagining, the 2024 remake, takes us on a journey of revenge with Eric Draven, played by the extremely talented Bill Skarsgård, rise from the grave and exact his revenge. The 2024 The Crow is ultimately disappointing. It's a disappointing remake. It lacks depth, intensity, and cultural significance of its predecessor, and it fails to live up to the legacy of the 1994 film, offering a shallow and forgettable retelling of the beloved story. Let's talk about it. The Crow 2024 is a story about Eric Draven, who is deleted, and his girlfriend Shelley is also removed out of the picture. He comes back from the dead and he is out for revenge. He's out to take out those who wronged him and his girl. That is the premise of The Crow. It's fairly simple, it's to the point, and it is not super difficult to try and make a proper Crow movie. Okay. I grew up with the 1994 version of The Crow, and I absolutely loved it. I thought it was a great film then. I keep it in a regular rotation. I watch it at least once a year. When Halloween time comes around, I give it a watch. And I did rewatch it before I watched the new remake, this retelling of the story. I hold the original Crow movie in very high regard, and I wasn't exactly expecting that of this remake. However, I went in with an open mind. I was willing to give it more than a chance. I was very optimistic and hoping that, just honestly, that they don't it up. This is a story that's just very dear to me, and I really enjoy The Crow, the story, the movie, everything about the original is just damn good. It's a cult classic. It's not for everyone, but I loved it. And I was really hoping that this one would get it right, because the other sequels, two, three, four, they just weren't there. They didn't hit the same way that the original Crow movie did. And this one is unfortunately no different. Let me begin with it is a reimagining, a retelling, it's a remake of the original story. And that might have been the way to go, because I'm trying to think back, like, for the most part, whenever they remake a classic movie, it's either going to be shot for shot a remake, just with modern, graphics, modern CGI, the modern take. And for the most part, I usually hate it, because the originals kind of set a very high bar, and they do nothing new with these remakes. They're usually soulless. They have no real heart in them, and they're just empty shells of what the original is. And I think that it was a wise choice for them to completely redo this and just start from scratch. Honestly, I could feel it. If they just redid this almost the exact same, I'd probably hate it. And I can say that I don't hate the 2024 Crow. I don't hate it. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. It, it's kind of somewhere in the middle there. And I think that helps this new Crow story to be viewed with a fresh pair of eyes, because I'm not really comparing it 100% to the original story, because they are completely different. They are extremely different. They have some base that is similar. They have Eric Draven, they have Shelley, and Eric becomes the Crow. That's about the only thing that they have in common with each other. Okay, so they are both completely different. And the new Crow 2024, I'm reviewing it as a standalone film and not comparing it to the original. I will be comparing it to the original in our full episode. Make sure you watch that. However, back to our movie review. First, I want to talk about Bill Skarsgård. Okay, this dude, he is a phenomenal actor. He has a fantastic range of ability. I've seen him do villainous stuff. I've seen him do comedy stuff. I've seen him do some serious work, and I think he's an excellent actor. And out of the names that were just rotating out of this project that were previously attached to this movie, Bill Skarsgård is an excellent choice. He's a fine, fine actor, and I was really hoping that he was going to nail this as Eric Draven. I can't necessarily blame this 100% on him because, I mean, the writing, the script, the story, the way it's told, it does not hold a candle to the original. And it's a real shame that Bill is being dragged into the mud with this one. Because, like I said, what he was given, I think he brought it. I think he brought the best of his ability. He tried to make a successful film. I feel like he really did. Unfortunately, there were a couple scenes that I didn't buy. I didn't think that he was portraying correctly. And I'm going to be specific. There's a clip released by Lionsgate on YouTube. If you go check it out, I'll try and leave it right here for you. But they show the best scene in the movie. You can go watch that and you'll be good. You don't have to watch the whole movie, but go check it out after this review. They show part of it in the trailer where he's going up some stairs and he's getting shot like 1,000 times. And he's just walking up the stairs and getting shots. There's holes in the stomach. And he's just Superman walking through them. That is not what was established in the movie. In the movie, it is established that he does feel pain. He does heal, but he feels the pain. He's feeling every single bullet that's going through him. Think of it as Wolverine. When Wolverine gets damaged, he feels pain. He quickly regenerates, but he felt it. And yes, he has a higher resistance to pain, and so does the Crow. And in that scene, when he's walking up the stairs, he's just taking it like they're nothing. But then 5 seconds later, he gets shot point blank, and he's like, he's highly exaggerating the damage effect, and nothing. He just walked up the stairs like they were spitting spitballs at him out of a straw, and it was ridiculous. It's like he wasn't consistent, unfortunately, with the way that he took damage, and that's really the only bad thing that I can say about his acting, his portrayal of Eric Draven. Uh, let's talk about Shelley, the actress. I'm not super familiar with her. I think she's a singer in Europe, a European singer. I believe she's a talent out there. So I'm not super familiar with her. I don't think I've really seen her in anything else. FKA Twigs. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that, but she did all right. She did all right portraying Shelley. She seems like the way she played Shelley in screen, right? But she was like a loving person, and she's very kind. She's very sweet, and she kind of just falls for Eric, just like bam. And same with Eric in this film. Like they show a lot more what that relationship is between them two, and I did appreciate that they showed more about them. In the original film, they just kind of glossed over, like, oh yeah, we've been together for a while, we're engaged, ha ha ha. It's great, and they got the point across. But here they kind of dove more into their relationship. Unfortunately, their relationship is based on what feels like to be a couple weeks. They spent a couple weekends together. They have a lot of fun sessions together, and that's it. That's supposed to be the grand love that they share, which brings Eric back from the dead to exact revenge. And I don't buy it. It didn't feel right. It didn't feel natural. It didn't feel like it was enough for him to come back for her like that. It no, it wasn't enough. They spent 2 weekends together, and they shacked up, and oh, I love you. Oh, you're the best thing that ever happened to me. And yeah, just to give it a little bit a benefit of it out there, Eric Draven's character, it shows that he was a loner most of his life. He's never been in love. He's never shared anything like that with anyone before. And I mean, he felt pretty damn hard for her. But still, in the time frame that they show us, it feels like it was a couple weekends. It just did not feel enough to justify him coming back like that. It just didn't. It wasn't enough for me. I also want to add that Shelley in this one, the way she was portrayed, oh my god, she was toxic, dude. She was very hated. The scene where they're on the bridge, right? And she's like, Eric, if I jumped off the bridge, would you jump with me? Come on, jump with me. Don't leave me. Don't ever leave me. Like, oh my God, son, get this girl away. Horrible, dude. Horrible. Oh, God. As far as the visuals go, for the most part, everything looked solid. There were a few scenes that were CGI that you could obviously they looked CGI, like damage, and you can see Draven's bone sticking out of his arm, and which I did like this part where he was healing. He has to pop everything back in place in order for them to heal. It doesn't just automatically heal like it's nothing like a Deadpool character. It's not like that. He has to put stuff back in place and make sure if organs are sticking out, he's got to stick the organs back inside his body, and then his body's going to heal. And he showed pain on his face. He screamed like it was painful, and those parts were believable. There was a scene where I was looking at the open wound on his leg, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that bone looks way CGI." And I'm not expecting it to be a real bone, obviously, but it was just obvious, like, "Oh yeah, that's CGI," because it just didn't look great. But it's fine. It's fine. It's just a minor thing. I can look over it. It's not a big deal. The cinematography, the way it was shot, like the angles, the tone of everything, like visually, I thought it looked fine. I don't have an issue with it. I thought it was fine. It was good. Nothing amazing really stood out, but it didn't feel bad, if that makes sense. It felt good. If it was a good flow. The music was okay. Yeah, nothing really stood out. I did feel like they could have gone harder during the action scenes, especially the ending, the scene where he's going up the stairs. That fight, it's a great fight. It's badass. It's awesome. It looks visually badass, brutal, gory, but it's played to opera music. It was just an odd choice to play such a badass scene and have opera music play. It just didn't mesh. Like throw in some heavy metal, throw in something exciting, something that goes with it. Just reel me into the fight. I just thought it was a weird choice. And then there were the themes of the film where it was him exacting revenge, and I'm a bit of a mixed bag here because again, back to the love story that they told, that I didn't feel like it was genuine. It felt super rushed, and he's back from the dead to exact revenge and to take out the people that removed him and Shelley. It's just straight up revenge. Which there's nothing wrong with that. The comic was completely fueled by revenge and hate. But as a cinematic film, you want to see more than just revenge. Is this guy a hero? An anti-hero? A villain? When he goes just for revenge, he's not necessarily a good guy. He's not exactly a hero, and neither was he a hero in the original film either. Not really. Not towards the end. When he reached the end, that's where he kind of got that redemption. But here in the new one, there really wasn't any redemption. It was a selfish act of revenge. No more, no less. He wasn't fighting for anything grand. He wasn't fighting for anyone else. He was just fighting for himself and for Shelley. There's really no sense of justice in the traditional way. It was justified by of what was done to him and Shelley. It was a different take for sure, and that's fine. It doesn't have to emulate anything else. I do like that this story tried to add more lore to the Crow. They involved who I suspect was the Skull Cowboy. He doesn't look like a skull. He doesn't even look like a cowboy. But it's this dude who's kind of like in between worlds. He's that spiritual being that's in limbo, and he's kind of guiding Eric and helping him, like, hey, this is what you need to do. He's kind of guiding him of what he has to to do things to correct what was wronged to him, what was wronged of him. And he's not exactly death, but in the movie, they don't really tell you who he is, what he does. He's just a guide. He's just kind of there in limbo. He's just like, hey, man, you want to exact revenge? Go do it. You got powers now. But then on the other hand, like in the real world, the Ravens are supposed to also help and guide Eric, which I felt like they didn't do anything in this one. They were just kind of flying around and making the crow noises, and they didn't do anything. They were just kind of there. Not even like in the original film when the crows are flying around, they're searching for his next victim. They're trying to help him locate and execute his mission. And this one, there's a couple close up shots of the crow and the actual bird. It caws and it flies away, but it doesn't do anything to help Eric. It's just kind of there. There was no point to having the crow, the bird, in the film, and I think it's kind of unfortunate because the name of the damn movie is The Crow. Yet the crow didn't do a damn thing. It was just it's a little weird. Last thing I want to touch on is the villain. They try to add something to this one. Instead of it being like a gang of gangsters or a mob boss. It was a rich guy. This guy has a dark power. He made a deal with a demon or something. Like, he went to the crossroads. He met with somebody who made out with him, and he made a deal to where he can have eternal life. But in exchange, he has to give innocent souls to that demon. And his power is basically he whispers in someone's ear and he brings out the corruption of that person. And he kind of controls a little bit, be like, hey, go take out this person. And that possessed person will do it. And so there's a little bit of supernatural to him, which I thought was kind of cool. It gives the crow more of a challenge to take on someone like that instead of just a regular person, to give him a bit more of a chance to fight. And then that's where the problem comes in. They didn't really fight. He's a rich guy. The final scene, it was just kind of underwhelming. I was literally sitting there like, okay, let's get this over with because I think this guy's gonna throw a punch, and sure enough, I don't recall him doing any physical action. It was just kind of meh. And honestly, that's how I felt about the movie as a whole. Just meh. It was a solid attempt to redo this film, but there wasn't enough substance. It wasn't engaging. It did not have the same charm that the original movie does. It really is a shame. I think personally for me, like this may not apply for everyone, but for me personally, knowing what the original film is, this should not have been a remake. It's because easily have been different characters. Instead of him playing Eric Draven, he could have played Bill and his girlfriend Sheila, Bill and Sheila, and it would have stood alone as another Crow sequel. But the fact that you put Eric Draven's name in there and Shelley and oh geez, man, I hate that they did that. I didn't think it was needed, and yeah, it's losing points for that. But to recap, overall, it was just meh. It was okay. The fight scenes were actually good. The action was gory, brutal. The final scene with the opera fight, some really cool stuff there. I highly suggest you go check it out. It's the best part of the movie. Everything else kind of falls flat, lifeless. I wouldn't really say this is something that you need to watch in theaters. Whenever it comes out on streaming, yeah, check it out. It's worth a watch, but I don't think it was very good. My final score, I'm going to give it a 6.5. It's right there. It's just about to get that passing grade, but it just was not enough for me to give it that 7. It's just not there. If his name was Bill and Sheila, it probably would have got the 7. I'm just being honest. That's probably not fair, but I'm just being honest. That's how I feel about this film. It just was not enough to call itself a remake or be associated with the original film. Again, if it was just a standalone Crow movie, its own thing, I would have been perfectly fine with that. One last thing before we close. Bill Skarsgård really pumped some iron for this one. The guy was ripped. He was cut. He looked great. And it really shows that he really tried to make something out of this film. But unfortunately, he just wasn't able to save it. And it was unfortunate. Enough about me. What did you think of the film? Did you watch this film? Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comments down below. And do not forget that buildings burn, people die, and real love is forever. Unfortunately, this movie just burned and died and will probably be forgotten forever. We'll catch you on the next one.